You good? That's a nice spot.
Yeah. Give me the thumbs up when you're ready. All right. We are live today in studio 239 Uncensored. Got a big show. Today we're sponsored by Jimmy P's Burgers and More. They brought us some delicious food. They brought us the New York strip, some chicken wings. Larry's already ate half the food, but he's enjoying the cheesesteak. Larry, how's that cheesesteak?
I'm going to show you.
Good. Jimmy P's Burgers and More. They have a second location coming. Stay tuned for that. We want to thank them for sponsoring today's show. And I got to clear this up. The opinions on this show do not relate to Jimmy P's, okay? These are our own opinions today. We're going to bring it.
Man, this man got his theme song.
I'm playing Dirty Diana, man. Michael Jackson for the lady running the show in here for Diana.
This show's going to go off the haywire real quick, so why not? Go ahead. It's unscripted, uncensored. Here we go. You boys, Larry, did you bring Nina today?
I keep it.
Pat.
That's your intro song, man.
Pat, you strapped?
No, I'm good. I'm strapped, yeah.
Dan, you strapped?
I figured I was safe in here. So
all right.
Safe space.
Ready to go.
Safe space.
The floor is yours, gentlemen.
I want to get a take of man. Something big happened last week. I think it was actually historic. I was blessed to be there with Dan Kowal. I wanted Patrick Jira there, but Larry, you were there. I mean, behind closed doors, behind the curtain. Let's jump right in, man. Give everybody, talk to us about the RNC. I don't want to hear the news press version. I want to hear behind the scenes. Tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. Anything happening behind there that people didn't hear about? Anything you can mention here on the air? I thought Byron killed it, but just give us your perspective, man, because you was there. You was in there like swimwear for 5 days.
Man, I was asleep. I missed everything. Everything it flew by so fast. You know, the best thing about it was just being there. I have been to 3 other conventions, but this one is just the energy. Man, it was the energy. It's like I never seen nothing like it. And I had spoke about this somewhere. I hit it on last podcast segment. This was like the 2008 DNC convention. Just that noise, even about something change and something different with President Obama. You know, that swept America by storm. And with this RNC, the energy behind President Trump, oh man, it was just crazy, electrifying. The city felt very safe. It was fun. I mean, it was fun. Days starting 5:30, 6 o'clock a.m., finishing till pretty much 2 in the morning.
What was the highlight of the convention
For you.
On record?
I'm just being real. Aside from all the ladies chasing,
Right.
what was the highlight?
Man, no ladies want
There's
chasing me.
kids in
man.
the studio. Keep that in mind.
It wasn't no ladies chasing me. Nobody want me.
Then how do you get the name Larry Love?
Good question.
My smile.
Oh, is that what it is?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I was there firsthand.
He does have a hat and a T-shirt.
I forgot. I got the hat and T-shirt from
the
Dan Party.
From the Bob Mitzvah.
Yeah.
we had an airbrush guy there making T-shirts. Larry stood there for an hour getting
was
stuff
awesome.
made up.
That was the most dopest party I ever been to.
Larry walked out
And I'm
said
not even
that was-
lying to
That
you.
was the dopest Bob Mitzvah for sure.
I think it was crazy.
Not mine, but of course.
But yeah.
And
What
Larry's
is-
first, I imagine.
Can I jump in? Larry can act humble all he wants, but I'm telling you, I've seen it a million times. I love Larry, and Larry is real, and Larry is imperfect, and Larry is flawed, just like the rest of us. But when you see him in that scene, people just gravitate towards him. And yes, it's women, it's men, it's everybody. When you're the biggest brother in the room wearing a cowboy
That
hat
helps.
and a congressional shirt, and you're with Byron Downs, him and Byron Downs go in and just chop up a room. But I've seen him, and I've seen you talk to people, and if they want to talk to you about all the things that are going on in D.C. and Southwest Florida and all the things you've accomplished and your background, I just sit there and watch, and I see the patience you have with people. I don't think I could do it, and I don't have people sitting there waiting in line to come talk to me, but Larry, I got to give you props, man. I've seen you be so patient with these people and love on and share that love and that smile with a lot of Republican voters. I just think it's great because not just because it's a black guy talking to a bunch of great older white people that are all Republicans. It's the fact of, and my takeaway from the convention was, and Dan and I talked about this, and Dan and I shared a room, and we'll jump into that later on. That's a whole nother story. Then we had one bed, so it got a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we had to put pillows down the middle to divide sides up, but
Y'all built the fort.
we built a fort.
So you had VIP passes to the show, but you only had one bed?
Yeah,
How
man.
does
But
that
anyway,
happen?
I tried to make a bunk bed out of it, but it didn't work.
He gave us so much more room for activities. But tell me, I've never been to a convention. So that was my first convention. But I know conservatives, Republicans, and people that love America come in all shapes and sizes. They come in all different colors. They come in all different looks on the pretty tree and ugly tree spectrum. And they come from all religions, backgrounds, sexual orientations, and everything. And what I saw was people so well behaved, the love, like you said, the energy, the respect people had for each other. Yeah, I saw a lot of cops outside. I'm sure they had heightened security because of the assassination attempt on Donald J. Trump. But man, I thought Milwaukee did a great job. I thought that city embraced all these crazy MAGA people that want to save our country. And I just thought, for me, it was the greatest, other than a sports event, I thought it was one of the coolest things I've ever been to out of town. I think Dan said the same thing. I'll let him chime in here. But I just love seeing the unity of people coming together from all different backgrounds, man. It didn't matter whether you were black or white, or you came from the inner city, you came from the richest neighborhood in New York City. Everybody that wore the red hat, everybody that showed up for that convention was there for one reason, that we want to support Donald J. Trump and we want to save America on November 5th. And I thought it was just awesome.
And I'll let Commissioner Kowal jump in, but how much has the Republican Party changed since we started in 2010? Night and day.
I mean, it's completely night and day, totally night and day. I went to the convention in Tampa right during that time when we first started, during the Tea Party time. And, being a young Republican then, it was live, but they still didn't quite get it, because they brought out, for entertainment, they had Clint Eastwood. They had all these. I'm like,
Clint.
And we trying to make the party more younger. And we was like, and at that time, we could have had Adam Sandler, we could have had LL Cool J, and it was some more entertainers that they was on the bandwagon, but we decided to go old. And to answer Pat's question before I give the microphone to Dan, was like, man, to be neglected when no one pay attention to you when you're trying to talk to people. That's why I listen to everyone. I have the patience with everyone, and I take everybody's concern seriously. Because growing up, no one gave a damn about my voice. No one gave a damn what I said. I was with the have-nots. I was with the peasants. So that's one of the reasons why I go so hard. Because now you see me. Now you hear me. Now you can't stop me because I came in kicking and screaming. I kicked the door all the way down. So being on that floor and looking at some of my work with Congressman Byron Donalds, it's like started from the bottom. Now we here. We here. Now,
cue that song up.
I put up a throwback Thursday picture up of 2012. We standing in the suits. I remember this fundraiser.
Yeah, who took that picture? That was a good picture.
Yeah, some guy named Pat. He took it. And we was at the Denny's on Pine Ridge. And I was thinking about it. I made it like Perkins, whatever it was. Yeah, Perkins. So I was like, we started out as pups. But now we leaders of the pound. And you just think about it, like 15 years heavy in the game, nothing stopped us. We wasn't deterred by no one. We had a lot of naysayers and what have you. And we would just get down or lay down. You either gonna roll with us or you're gonna get rolled over. That's always been my mentality because I'm gonna keep moving. Whether you try to stop me or not, nothing gonna stop me. I can only stop myself. So yeah. So go ahead, Dan.
And speaking of which, Commissioner Kowal, I'm watching the convention and I see your pretty face on TV.
Fox News.
Fox News, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess Fox News realized there's a new face of the Republican Party.
There it is.
Blasted it nationwide
handsome
and
face at
worldwide
that.
that night. So
It was wild.
yeah, but within seconds after that
Oh, my
camera
phone
was
had to
stuck
be
in my
blown up.
face, my phone was blowing up. I mean, people were like, "Hey guys, haven't seen me 25 years from the Army, disconnected."
That was cool.
And I looked a lot different back then. And they're like, I think I saw you on TV. I'm not sure. I look like you. And I'm like, yeah, that was me, man. Don't worry about it. So, but it was all good. But to touch on a lot of things, what I noticed at the convention, and, we did a lot of walking around, me and Pat. We were out on the outskirts and, not so much in the secure zone area, but, they kept a lot of the protesters at bay out there. But believe it or not, very, very, very minimal protesters for that event. And typically, they were talking about being prepared. And I don't know what's going to happen in Chicago in a few weeks, but when the Democrats have their convention, but for a Republican convention in a swing state like that,
Huge.
it was small. I mean, I bet I seen the largest group. I think was maybe 20 people, and that was about it. And at
Yeah.
night, you had a few single people holding up some banners and some
Yeah.
signs. But I worked conventions in the past. I never was at a convention full. Like there, going to events and being part of it on a long term. When I used to do security with the dignitary protection team, I'd come in with my protectee to do a couple speeches, and we were out. We didn't stick around. They did their thing, they got out. But being there, as a spectator, being part of it, it was totally different. And seeing, the security and how it worked, I think they had it locked down pretty good.
About time.
But it's just, we talk about conservatism, and I think the reality is that 90% of the country, they're conservative and don't even know it.
Absolutely.
They have a lifestyle and their mindsets when they live their life. They work hard. They want to save their money. They want to take care of their children. They believe in things bigger than them. They don't even realize it. But the problem is they get caught up in what people tell them. They're naive. They're naive, and they're told that they're not that way. They believe in the propaganda on the news. They believe Hollywood. Because these are the people that have their ears. They're the ones that talk through that box that hangs on their wall 24/7. And they buy into it. But in reality, you look at the majority of people in this country, they are conservative, just the way they live their life. And they just don't realize it yet. But I think we're starting to see a lot of things happen.
There's a big shift. Absolutely.
big shift.
It's almost mainstream now to be conservative.
Now, I just heard a report out of Pennsylvania. They do their registered Democrat versus registered Republican and the numbers. In the election back 2019, 2020, when Trump, and Biden ran, the number difference was 500,000 more registered Democrats in the state of Pennsylvania. They redid the numbers yesterday, and don't quote me, but I believe it was 300,000. So if you just take the raw numbers, that means 200,000 people switched to Republican since that last convention in the state of Pennsylvania.
That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
It is. Dan, I've been a fan of yours since I met you. And people watching this show and listening to this show, Dan ran against us in Congress, He tried, of course, can't beat Larry
A lot
Love.
of people
Well,
tried.
a lot of people don't know that, I was still working. I was still working in law enforcement, and it was during the COVID.
Yes.
And 11th hour, I just got pissed off. I said, what? I'm taking some of my money. I'm jumping in this race. We got to start straightening this ship out. But Larry can tell you, I didn't know what I was doing. I was trying to run my own campaign.
But you ran as you.
I ran as me.
You ran as
Yeah.
Dan Kowal. And that earned a lot of respect from me and also the congressman. Because if we wasn't in that race, you would have got all our support.
Yeah, you know what? And I'll tell you a story, behind the scenes. And this is why I love Byron. Love him to death, man. You can hear my voice cracking. But he took me aside. I mean, this is silly. I mean, he knew I didn't have a chance. I knew I didn't have a chance. But he took me aside several times where we were at different events. And he's like,
speak.
Dan, do this. He's like, hey, talk like this or do this. He was like coaching me. And he's telling me I got to go to a Toastmasters, which I never went to. I'm like, hell with that. I ain't doing no Toastmasters. And then he tried to get my wife to talk me into doing it, but I didn't do it. But I'm myself. I talk from the heart. But
And we know that. I mean, you can't fake goodness. And even a few times when they asked the congressman to speak, especially on law enforcement and veterans, we turn the mic over. No, we're not. That's Dan.
Yeah.
Give it to someone who's rewarding of it. He served our country and he served our county as an officer. What other person to get that to? And that's the type of person that we have as a great congressman. He put everyone else first before he put himself. And that's what we expect for a congressman. But man, we love you, Dan. Thank you for everything.
love you guys back.
Absolutely. You want to? So you gentlemen started this Collier First Pack, and it's kind of been in the news. I don't know if you've noticed. Do you kind of want to explain how that came about, the mission with that, and maybe a little bit of the so-called backlash, I guess, if you want to say?
Yeah, backlash, smacklash. But I'm gonna jump back into what we were talking about with Dan, because I actually have a little particular story about that too, because been friends with Byron at the time longer than I've been friends with Dan. But Dan and Lauren were dear friends of mine. Byron asked me first to support him, which I had done in the past, and I gave him my word I would. And then literally within a week, Dan called, and I think he had one of those, I'm going to call it the Hulk Hogan moments. We saw Hulk Hogan bring the house down at the RNC because he just said he's sitting on the sidelines and he just had enough. After they tried to kill Trump, he said, I got to say something. I got to do something. And I think Dan had one of those moments. It wasn't about who else was running. Dan's one of those guys that when there's fire going on, when there's people being hurt, when the gunshots are fired, and you heard Dana White just talk about this with the Trump assassination attempt. Anybody can talk tough. Anybody can say they're hood. And Larry's had shots fired at him where he comes from in his background. I know that for a fact. We talked about it. But my point is, you don't know who you really are until the shots are fired. Are you going to duck and run and hide? Or are you going to run towards the fire? And Dan's is one of those guys. He's going to run towards the fire. And he had a moment where he felt it was his calling to jump in. It was nothing against anybody else. And I love the fact that when they called me, I said, guys, I love you. I've already given my word to Byron. There were other people in that race that spent millions of dollars, that had dear friends that were really good friends of mine. Not to name drop, but Rocky Patel was one of them. And Rocky was a great friend, and I was getting invited over to the house down in Port Royal and getting to be in magazine things with him. And I love Rocky, by the way. If Rocky sees this, man, the guy is awesome.
Absolutely.
Rocky, by the way, is one of the biggest Byron Donalds fans of all time.
And just endorsed.
He just helped pass some legislation that I think, Rocky was trying to get done.
And Rocky just endorsed Tim.
He
Did a
did.
nice
Rocky
video
Patel
for
does
him.
endorse Tim Jarrett, which is awesome. By the way, Tim Jarrett is I'm just telling you, we're all so passionate about this, and we'll get back to Collier first. Tim Jarrett is the only option, and this plays right into what our issues are as a Republican Party here locally and what happens to the Republican Party on a national stage, the infighting, the knuckleheads that just can't get on board with one big mission, keep the main thing the main thing. It's Tim Jarrett all day long for Collier County supervisor elections. Make no mistake, I will not stop screaming that from the mountaintops now through August 20th. I'll be out there polling for for Tim. I poll for Dan. I poll for Byron. And anybody has a problem with that, I don't care what alphabet organization you're a part of, CCRAC to be exact.
Talk it, Pat.
Come talk to me. Let's have a civil conversation, a respectful conversation. I'm happy to have that conversation. And by the way, I'm not going to hate on anybody who doesn't want to vote for Tim because I asked them to. If they want to vote for somebody else, that's their God-given right. Let's have a discussion.
Absolutely.
I feel very confident when I outline the bullet points, why Tim Jarrett is the guy, is a man of honor, is a man that have served our county. Talk about running towards the fire as a Collier County decorated sheriff. He retired at the highest level you can retire to. The reason why he has what I consider the real endorsements, like Lee County Sheriff Carmine Marcino, like Patrick Dearborn, like County Commissioner Dan Kowal, like unofficially Byron Donalds, like Larry Love, like Patrick Jira. He has so many great endorsements from people that are boots on the ground in Southwest Florida and in Collier County. That's who I think people should look at, and why those people are so emphatically endorsing that guy, because they love him and they know he will be the fairest, most honest person that we can have to make sure our votes count and that our votes are run the right way. And that leads back into your question. And I'm
I'll
sure
take care of that.
you'll take care of Collier first.
I'll explain.
Jump
this.
in.
I'll jump in because Pat gets real passionate. And, we all feel the same.
You
way
say he talk
does.
too much.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Come on.
Nah,
It's
I'm
okay.
I'm just messing with Pat.
But no, what happens? Me and Pat, we were thinking. I've been through the process. I've been through the process of you go through these forums and you go through these debates and you go behind the door with these different organizations. And, you have to earn their right to be endorsed by them. And and over the years, and there's several I've participated in, I've noticed that a lot of times they put a lot of weight, on a certain subject, like one particular subject. Not so much a whole conservative idea or conservative type, like personality, who you are. And it's everything's job specific. We got to understand, like the race Tim's in. Tim is running for a constitutional officer in the state of Florida. There's 5 constitutional officers in the state of Florida, other than county commissioners, which are more legislative and judicial. So break it down. The easiest thing I can say is like you have your sheriff, you have your tax collector, you have your comptroller, your clerk of courts, and you have your supervisor of elections. Those are Florida state constitutional officers
Property appraiser.
and property appraiser. So they have a specific job to carry out. And when they take that position, they're sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Florida Constitution. And they get their powers through the Florida Constitution on what they govern or don't govern. And people have to understand that a supervisor of election is like kind of like almost like a sheriff light. They're given a set of rules and they have to abide by those rules. They have to enforce those rules to operate fair and legal elections. So when you look at that, you look at the person that's best fit for the job and if that person can carry out the task. And a lot of people, these other organizations and these groups that some people don't even understand what a political action committee is or a PAC. It's not like the Republican Party or something that people are using public money. This is private money. There's certain rules they can do that they can do that they can't do. So when you endorse a candidate, you don't have to, it's private money endorsing this candidate. So it's totally different. So there was some people came out and said, this is illegal. They can't do that. That's all false. They're just talking out the other side of their head.
It's Matt Hurley. Matt Hurley behind all that.
Well, I'm just saying, it's just
calling it out like it is.
They're pumping certain people up to think that something's nefarious or something's going on.
So
when there's nothing going on.
Is the CCRC against you all?
Well, I think this is what's so weird about it. Our PAC came out and supported 4 out of the 5 candidates that the CCREC is backing, except for one, the position of supervisor of elections. We feel Tim is the right person for that position, and we vet and who we vetted, and we felt Tim is the right person for the position. It's just the only one that's different than the other 4 that they're supporting that we also publicly supported in our website in our mailer we did last week.
Okay.
So in reality is we basically, out of private money, put out mailers and supporting 4 of their candidates that they don't have to spend money on, that they're not going to have to advertise. They just got advertising by us. And then they're telling us we're doing something wrong or nefarious just because we didn't support the same guy they supported. This is not communist Russia. This is not a socialist country. Last time I checked, I can vote or support whoever I want in a Republican primary.
I was hearing things about you, Kowal, and things about you, Dearborn. And I was shocked that people would talk about you two like that.
Well, listen, I'm gonna jump in. Anybody want to say a derogatory word about Dan Kowal? Everybody in this room knows that guy's about as straight-laced and by the book as it gets. We're at a pool party for my birthday last year. Y'all came to at the Ritz, and all of a sudden we hear thunder off in the distance. Dan Kowal, first one out the pool. There's thunder out there. Y'all better get out of the pool, lightning and thunder. But my point is, he's
bike riding with me.
He's a law and order guy, which obviously makes sense, right? From his military background and from his many, 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 many years of dedicated service to law enforcement. He's a rule follower. So anybody's going to say something derogatory about that guy, I will literally ask them. I mean, of all people I know in my world, that's the last guy.
What did they say?
I think you could find anything bad to say about.
Well,
me, different conversation.
I think the Republican Party believes that any image of an elephant in the United States of America is owned by them or
trademarked.
I could have a Dumbo book from Disney and they'd be like, "Oh, don't use Dumbo on a flyer." In reality, is they have one official elephant, the particular trademarked elephant that does belong.
Correct.
In reality, that was public money it paid for it, and there's been lawsuits in the past that said, "Listen, you can't trademark something that public money paid for." It's just like I remember in Collier County, you tried to keep people going into parks that had a CCW. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? That park was paid for by tax dollars. Guess what? That park, you can use your Second Amendment.
Let me ask you, direct question, direct answer. How do you all feel about our local CCREC? And if I need to go first, I don't have no problem with going first because I honestly don't care for the CCREC just because of my differences. But I had with them.
Hang on,
But
baby. Let's backtrack though. What'd
It's-
you hear them saying about Dan? What'd you hear people saying about Dan Kowal or Pat? It's okay. We can.
But y'all didn't know what you all was doing, inexperienced, and they used that word rhino like just.
Oh, that was yeah.
They call you, me, and Byron rhinos to our
listen.
faces, dude. Spitting on
Nah.
man. I'm glad you weren't there that one night at the table because it would. I was ready to go down.
Man, you know, how
Byron
I
kept
am,
his
like,
cool. He's so calm, cool, collective, dude.
That's why
the
he keep
coolest
me away
cucumber.
from him,
Yeah, he's the
because,
coolest
like,
guy in the room.
I don't play those games. I don't do the threatening games. I don't do the putting your hands on me games. I wasn't raised that way.
My personal opinion, I know I was part of 2 years ago when the CCREC came together and they decided, well, we're going to endorse the 3 candidates running for school board.
Mhm.
And we saw the same thing. We had a fracture within the party, you know, because certain like people like your guys' camp, you guys just didn't feel like you weren't going to be part of with
Kelly Lichter.
Kelly Lichter.
How'd,
know,
how-
because
how'd
that
how'd
was
that
just-
work out for us, Collier County?
But I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
How'd that work out?
Now all of a sudden, fast forward 2 years, and we went from okay, I get it. That's a race that they're not allowed to talk about who they are. They're not allowed to identify their party because that's in the rules when they run in the
Yes.
primary. And the CCRC, it made sense that they say, all right, behind the scenes, we're going to say these are the real Republicans. All right, you know, so okay, I get it. But when you have an actual race that you have a true Republican primary and everybody in the race is a Republican, and a lot of people don't remember or they just don't want to remember, or maybe they haven't been Republicans their whole lives. You know, do you remember the Ronald Reagan rule, the 11th Amendment?
Oh yeah.
You don't say anything negative about another Republican. You just don't. You keep your mouth shut. You let them run their race, and the best man wins. And I think fast forward, they jumped ahead, and now all of a sudden they're endorsing everything from the dog catcher.
Yeah.
Going into a Republican primary. And I think
Overstepped
we need to
their
pump
bounds,
the
man.
brakes.
Yeah.
We need to pump the brakes, let the people run their races, and then the winner, the clear winner, we go in 110% into election day in November, and that's when we endorse them from that minute on
Look,
as a Republican.
It sounds good, but the thing is, everybody get personal. They take it personal.
Well, they can't
Just
take it
because
personal.
just because that race, what you just mentioned, the school board race, I chose to go with Jen Mitchell for what Kelly Lichter and her husband done, right? So I go in with my shirt on. So everybody attack me. Now I'm the worst of the worst.
I remember that night.
You
I
know,
was there.
I
stood
came
outside
running in
with you.
for
So
you.
listen, but I guess they don't know who they thought I was or what have you. You gotta do is, oh, I've been waiting to kill you. I've been wanting to kill you. Like, huh?
What?
Man, I beat you.
Wow.
But so
Well,
when it all broke out,
How
they
you gonna
want to
try to
call
kill
me all
Larry
type
Love?
of thugs.
How you gonna kill Larry Love?
I'm the thug, I'm the villain, I'm everything because I'm defending myself. It started out with 3 against 1 pretty much. And I was the one.
Oh,
And
it was
before you
more-
came, it was more than
There
that.
was more than that.
But
yeah.
I'm not backing down to no man. You know, I stand 10 toes down all the day. So when everything, all the smoke settled, you know, they're praising the crackhead and what have you. Oh, he's the greatest sliced bread. We like, dude,
I think at one point they made him
the general.
chairman of the
Yeah.
RC.
And I was
that
like-
didn't last too long.
I said, do these people not know? But they all knew here, you know, 2 or 3 years. They don't know what's really been going on. And they wrote letters. Oh, everyone in the CCRC don't like you, Larry. They all afraid of you. And I was like, afraid of me? Man, I'm nothing but a teddy bear. I don't have problems with people, but I won't let nobody put their hands on me, you know? And that's why I try to talk to people, and I feel like everybody takes stuff personally in the organization instead of just, except, you know what? I can't say this. Let me back this up. Because when several people lied, talking about I pulled a gun out in the organization, I thank and I praise Alfie Oakes because he told the truth. He said Larry did not have a gun. That's a bold-faced lie. And John Mayo. John Mayo said the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me and
And-
Dan were there. We said
and
the
I
same
praise
thing,
her.
too.
So-
And I always say, man, those 2 men right there, thank God for those 2 men because they were sitting up front and center like, Larry didn't have a gun, so why would y'all want to lie on Larry like that?
Yeah.
But they were just trying to get me all jammed up, you know?
Yep.
And that's all it is. And these personal attacks and
Personal
people
attacks.
hiding behind fake names and fake profiles, and they want to talk crap, but are scared to do it under a real name. And you know, I haven't said one bad thing about any other candidates in the race. I keep out of this stuff personally. But then they brought me in, they brought Larry in, Patrick. It's just childish and unnecessary, in my opinion. I mean, if you have something to say, you know, we ain't hard to find, but to hide behind a keyboard and a fake profile is a
Get
coward
down
thing
and
to
lay
do.
down.
So Let's lighten it up a little bit.
Let's lighten it up. Man, you know what, Pat?
Getting all heavy in
What's
here.
up?
bro.
I got a question, though.
Larry
Shoot.
Love.
You know, since we were talking about the REC and
Trying to
everything
kill
else,
Larry Love. I can't get over that. Why
That ain't
you gonna
happening.
kill the? Why you gonna
dude,
kill?
dude, like,
That's
yo,
him trying to
kill
kill
Love.
Trump.
I've been waiting to kill you. I've
And
been
by the
wanting
way,
to kill.
Larry want me to wear a Jen Mitchell shirt, and I couldn't stand. Cameras on, record. I never let Kelly Lecter. They got up in my face. I was in between because I'm doing the Patriots show every Tuesday with Alfie, and we're endorsing all these candidates. And I disagreed with Alfie. I said, okay, I won't publicly give my comments about not liking and not standing Kelly Lecter, but I'm not going to support Jen Mitchell either because you reached out to me. I said I can't do it. But there's a saying in basketball. We used to ball it out. The ball don't lie, right? You get a bad call at the ref, ball don't lie.
The ball don't lie.
They call a foul. Normally they miss that free throw. You say ball don't lie.
I've been telling you that quite often. You've been on the wrong side a couple times.
I've been.
But go ahead.
That's okay.
But I got a
That's
question,
okay.
Pat.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Jen Mitchell wasn't the right answer either. It's okay. Record. Jen Mitchell, you wasn't the answer either. By the way, shout out
love
to
Jen
Jerry.
Mitchell.
Shout out to Jerry
What's that clock
Rutherford.
over there?
That's just until the cops. That's the cops response
Until they
time.
take us off the air.
That's the 911 call.
Pat, why you like 50 Cent so much,
Whoa.
man?
Why do I like 50 Cent so
Yeah,
much?
I
I mean,
always-
what?
Man,
Love
We
50.
just changed gears.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, what's not to like about him? I
we
mean,
went from Jen Mitchell to 50 Cent. Let's go.
well,
I-
I'll tell you, I have a lot of respect for him. I was a 50 Cent fan. This is true before he signed with Eminem, and just his background. You get shot 9 times. His mom was killed when he was 8, and to overcome all that, not to only become a successful rapper but a businessman. And I've hung out with him a few times too, so that doesn't hurt. But I just think 50 is a
Shout out to 50 Cent for effing Barker. Thanks, homie.
yeah, the effing mob. No, I think 50 is just a true definition of the American story. No matter your background, no matter the circumstances or outcome, you can make your life, and he's doing it big. And Many Men, baby. I've seen everyone from Donald Trump Jr. to attach Many Men to the Trump memes after.
Did you have a contract with 50 Cent for that effing Barker?
I did not. No.
What was going on?
50
No.
Cent. 50 Cent on the
No, I'll
Trump
ride
train,
with
man.
50. You know me, though. I'm all about loyalty. Team 50 all day, baby.
You
20
choose
pussy.
loyalty or love?
Loyalty.
Good answer.
I think love comes with the loyalty. Loyalty or respect.
Interesting.
Everybody at this table, man, I can tell you right now, everybody.
Loyalty trumps it all.
Including Tim Jarrett back in the back corner. No, I've been on the wrong side a couple times.
Man, you stay on the wrong
I
side.
know.
But then you remember
What-
me and you had, Pat,
Me
you
and
remember
you
me and
go
you
at
had, yeah, me and
Oh,
you had one at one time. Like,
you almost got, you almost got jacked up. But listen, it's all good.
We had an old
But,
saying. Hey, we had an old saying in the military. It was like, "Blood makes family," but you
makes you related.
yeah, makes you related.
Love make you family.
Or loyalty makes you family.
Loyalty makes you.
Yeah.
But all joking aside, because we've gone head to head with everybody. I've gone head to head with Larry a couple times.
Yeah.
But he knows my loyalty to not just to him, and Patrick knows, and Dan knows that these guys at this table, I am loyal, and I'm loyal to a fault. And sometimes I may be on the wrong side, but I can tell you right now, this goes back to the Republican Party in general. If we focus on the things we have in common and the things that we're passionate about when it comes to our country and it comes to coming together, we could crush the other side and save this country tomorrow
Preach.
if we could just overcome these. But the problem is in the Republican Party, and you already hit on it, everybody's got egos. Everybody's an A personality, and they want what they want. And I'm getting sick and tired of these alphabet letter organizations. I'm not going to say the CCREC, but whoever they are. And you jump in the race, and let's just go back to talking about being on the wrong side. Let's go back to the mayor race. And I love Alfie Oates. I'll take a bullet for Alfie Oates. I'm loyal like I already you are. I'm loyal to Alfie Oates. But he and I can have disagreements on stuff. And we disagreed on other things. Even back in the heyday, he liked Denise Nystrom for Lee County School Board, and Brendan Leslie and I supported Jada, who ended up winning that race. So Alfie's didn't have a perfect record, but Alfie was loyal to me, supported me in my campaign. He supported Dan Kowal. He supported Byron. But my point is, we disagreed on the mayor race. I just saw Gary Price yesterday, gave him the biggest hug, man. I freaking love that guy. That story, to lose his special needs son and to have that election stolen from him by certain Republicans who backed another candidate who they knew had no shot of winning, took 2,000 votes away from him. He lost by, after the recount, 22 votes.
22 votes.
22 votes.
We could have one of the
23.
best mayors in this. We would have had the best mayor in the state of Florida had Gary Price won that election, and Naples would be better for it. Now, fast forward now to this Collier County supervisor election.
Same
Tim
thing's
Jarrett's in the
going to
room.
happen.
Same thing's happening right here.
And we've talked to Alfie. I've talked to Alfie, but I'm not going to look. Alfie is a big boy. That guy is so passionate about our county and about Southwest Florida and Freedomtown, USA. He has his right to back who he wants. I just am getting frustrated that we are going to pick another candidate. We were supporting Tim for a year and a half. All of a sudden, they support this other guy. I'm not going to say his name. I don't know him. But you're going to end up splitting that vote and leaving the liberal-leaning incumbent in office, like we did with the mayor race in Collier County, will be worse for it. And it bums me out. But until August 20th, we are going to push hard and keep doing the right things. We're going to do the Ronald Reagan Amendment, and I'm going to say nothing but great things. Don't care who's running. I'm going to tell the world how awesome and what a stand-up human being Tim Jarrett is, and that's the kind of people I want. I want common sense, no BS, non-politician leaders like Dan Kowal. I want non-politician leaders like Byron Downs. In my mind, is not a politician, man. He's the calmest, coolest cucumber in the room at all times, even when you attack him, because he cares about this country. And I want guys like Dan
6'2",
Kowal.
275.
I ain't worried about you. I ain't afraid of him. Love that line. Gangster line.
Hey, only thing gonna kill Larry Love is cholesterol, man.
It is, man. He's
Come on.
no
He's
joke.
been doing better,
Come on.
or the women. But
Ain't no
that's
man,
a side note.
ain't no man gonna take him out.
And,
Or the
just
women.
real quick, because we
His
got to
favorite
keep
pro-
the show
his
moving.
favorite-
We're
his
going to do
favorite-
some
his
rapid
favorite
fire.
pronouns are he,
Well, let me
are
just
she,
dive
her.
in real
Go
quick
ahead.
on the end of what Pat was saying. Pat Dearborn was saying there. You know,
Wow, the last name.
we there's two Pats in here messing me up.
Okay.
But
Patty J.
you know, there was a poll I think just came out today, I believe, and Melissa and Tim are right up there at the top, and this
Distant third.
individuals in a distant third, but just taking enough votes for us to lose this thing again.
Yep.
And I don't know what else I can say. We need to step up. We need to all come together, because we should all be one mission orientated.
1,000%.
One mission orientation at times. You know, it's just like a military operation. You don't just send one particular unit in and say, well, they could just fix everything.
Nope.
No. We take units that have certain specialties and this and that and this. And then we may hold some back because we know at the time it might not be the right thing. And that's how we get, you know, the force multiplier of everybody coming together and defeating one cause. And as what I'm seeing right now and what I saw today, it's definitely the same exact thing is going to happen that happened in the city. Naples mayor's race is going to happen again with this supervisor of elections.
It'd be a real shame.
So, and it's going to be a shame. It's a damn shame, because it's very easily to get the right person in there right now at the right time.
Yeah, and forget the fact, in my personal opinion, I know you guys agree, the most qualified and the best person for the job. Let me tell you something. I've been around Tim almost every day for the last 2-3 months, and he is as a good of a genuine human being as there can possibly be. I always kind of judge a person how when my daughter's in the room, and he always makes sure my daughter feels comfortable and welcome. And when we're doing events, you know what he does? It's hot outside. He goes, gets bottles of water for everyone else before he takes a drink. It's just little things like that, but he is a great human being and the most qualified person too. But I'm all in on Team Jarrett, and it'll be a shame if the same thing happens in this race as the mayor race. But we only got like 5-6 minutes. Going to do some rapid fire. Got to answer one or the other. You answer both, we call you a Democrat. We don't want that. So one or the other. You ready, boys? Trump or Reagan?
Trump.
Oh. My old commander in chief. But I think Trump pulls the nose up on it.
Corey Mills or Matt Gaetz?
Dude, Corey Mills.
Corey
I freaking
Mills.
love that
Corey
dude.
Mills.
Man,
I'll
Army.
give him
You got Army boys in the room.
I'll give
Corey,
him
U.S. Army
Mills.
sniper.
And I think Matt Gaetz got a
Don't give me that look.
facelift.
That was a layup. I know.
Love
I
Corey
think he got a
freaking
facelift.
Mills.
Anybody see him lately?
And by the way, Corey
Jimmy
Mills,
Neutron?
Corey Mills, I got the honor of talking to him. Dan and I did for a while.
It's rapid fire.
Yeah,
And real
Pat,
quick, but
I
he
get it. You
loves-
know
he loves
everyone.
Larry Love.
I
No,
get it.
he
You're at the
loves-
Ritz-Carlton. You're
he
flying on
loves Larry
private
Love,
jets.
and
You know
he
Dana
loves
White.
Byron Donalds.
Got to
I'll tell
keep it quick.
Florida's
Stop name
lucky to have
dropping.
Corey Mills and Byron Donalds. Go.
Yeah, Corey Mills,
Kiss
a
my
big,
ass.
great lieutenant governor, in my opinion. All right, here's a tough one. Colonel Bloom or Sheriff Carmine?
As in-
Bloom.
I didn't quite understand the question.
One or the other. I mean, it's pretty.
I mean, one's a sheriff, one's a deputy.
I know.
All right.
Well, future sheriff Colonel Bloom. All right, we'll give you a
Well,
pass
okay.
because we know.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're asking me if one's a better sheriff than the other, I'd say I'd have a choice, But you kind of threw out somebody that's not a sheriff.
Okay.
And somebody who is a sheriff.
Way to throw me under the bus,
That's
Commissioner.
all right.
Get your
No
shit
problem.
together.
All right,
man.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna jump in on that
Attention
one.
to
I'm
detail,
gonna jump
man.
in on that one.
That's
For
me.
Collier
They're
County,
both great guys.
For
That's a
Collier
tough
County,
one.
Jim Bloom. For
Yeah.
Lee County,
Yeah.
Carmine.
There you
both
go.
Both of my friends.
You have a
But
future in politics.
Now
you
we
know
have to
that?
call you a Democrat.
Both great guys, by the way. Unbelievable.
Both of them
Shula's,
chase me too.
Shula's or Capitol Grill?
Shula's.
Shula's a Capitol Grill.
Yeah.
Chops all day long.
Wow. Can I weigh in?
Yeah,
Capitol
absolutely.
Grill.
I knew Pat was saying Capitol Grill.
I got a locker there.
Hey, every time he want to meet.
Capitol
You got a
Grill, man.
locker everywhere. Don't
I
you got a locker at the Alamo?
I got a locker here.
Matter of fact, man,
Well,
we do for Capitol Grill.
I need to get a locker in that corner though.
All right, let's keep it flowing. Dana White or Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan, man. Let me tell you something, brother.
Hulk Hogan all day long.
Hey,
Really?
Dana White. Love that guy.
I'd go Dana White too. Absolutely.
Trumpomaniacs.
MJ or Kobe?
Come on, dude.
This guy said Kobe last show.
This
And I
night,
said
I'm
there's no
tired of this
Kobe without
LeBron
MJ.
or Kobe. Kobe's love Black Mamba. It's MJ 23.
You
not
heard that,
even
Larry?
close. Not even worth discussion. I'll throw somebody out the
Thank
room
you.
and say something different. Dare somebody
MJ.
say something different.
Mic drop. Thank you.
MJ.
See how that's done? All right. Governor Scott or Governor DeSantis?
DeSantis.
DeSantis.
Larry?
Governor Scott.
Okay. I'd go Governor Scott as well.
Wow.
Casino or Goodfellas?
Huh.
Never seen either one of them movies.
Whoa.
Bullshit, Dan.
Seriously. Never seen no.
You know what?
Casino, greatest movie
Take
of
your
all time,
headphones
in my
off and
opinion.
get out of the room, man. How you not going to see that movie?
Nah, you got to go home. You got to
I
go
gave
home.
you a pass
You
on
got-
50 Cent, dude. I know you love Hank Williams
Good,
and all that shit, but you got to
Goodfellas,
go.
man.
I never
Dude.
watched either one of the movies fully through. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces
Yeah.
of either one, but I've
Man,
never
I got to
watched
pull your card, man.
Hey, I'm going to go Goodfellas only because the soundtrack was a little bit better, but Casino does have Sharon Stone.
Casino's, in my
But
opinion, Casino's my favorite movie.
But
of
I
all time.
take
I
a
must have
Bronx
been busy.
Tale over both of them.
Oh, Bronx Tale, baby.
Now, I've
C.
seen
Great
Bronx
movie.
Tale.
I take Bronx Tale
I
over
love
both of them.
C. That's
Well,
a great
the only
movie,
problem
dude.
is I can't never watch it against Robert De Niro's in it. So
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That's
Well,
I can't watch
if
any
we
of his
do that,
movies anymore.
we had a.
but I do love Bronx Tale.
there was a couple questions that we'll do them real quick that
Okay.
people asked. Why can't we find any pics of Michelle Obama pregnant?
Maybe she didn't want to be seen. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll be hearing that a lot.
You know where that leads to?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
No.
No. I just seen a picture of their oldest daughter, Sasha.
Suspect.
Was it?
I'm with Pat.
Man, y'all need to stop that, man.
Listen, I just seen a picture of their oldest daughter, Sasha, or someone was online the other day. She is like spitting image of her mother. I mean, they're almost like twins.
Yeah.
So you can't just have that. I mean, that doesn't just happen.
Yeah,
You know,
like,
it just-
people
She
crazy.
had to be
People
born
crazy.
through her.
Larry,
Through
someone
Michael.
said Mark
Michael
Field.
had to give birth to her.
Marcus Viola says, "Ask Larry Love why you're better off going to community college and free shoe you." I don't know what that. I guess
don't
that's
know
a
what
jab
free
at Florida
shoe you
State.
is,
Oh,
but,
that's
I
Florida
don't-
State.
Free Shoe is not Florida State. That
Yeah.
might be Fresno State. You got to earn everything at Florida State. I didn't get anything free.
And how do you feel about the notion? This is from Helena, that people will be voting for Kamala solely based on skin color or gender.
That's okay. It's
Percentage of the black vote that Trump gets. We're gonna put this on record. What's your prediction? I know you said above 30. I disagree.
I think it has dropped now because she also, she in a soror, but that Divine Nine is very strong, and it's a cult, it's a clique, so they're gonna support her just because. So I think it has dropped, but before then, I had it up in its 30s easily. And the women, man,
30.
women do a lot more voting than men.
It'll be in the low 20s at best, I think.
That's still a lot.
Oh yeah,
That's-
it's double basically of
I'm
what it
thinking
was.
about 24, 25%.
I'm with Larry. I think it's going to be over 30. I think
No
they're
way.
they're getting a spike right now.
No way.
But I do want to ask Larry, as the brother in the room, and I'm not trying to be funny, because that is going to weigh on people. People will vote for a candidate because of their skin color and because of their gender. My question to Larry is, you behind the scenes, man, are you nervous do they have a better shot of winning now with her than they did with Sleepy Joe?
Yes.
Could have ran anyone, but
And she the worst. She worse than biting.
She is.
But I just think she takes so much more because everybody wasn't enthused. The Dems wasn't as enthused as voting for Biden.
Well, yeah,
but now all the powers to be on the Democrats, they all are coming out saying they need to get behind this woman.
Mhm.
And not even Obama, now he's on the bandwagon.
Yeah, this
Of course,
morning
it was
they
going
endorsed
to.
her.
That
So
was
it's
what's
like-
gonna happen.
And she is horrible.
This is the thing. We don't win by popular vote in this country. We have the Electoral College, and we have to win by the states. And she does not. And she's just so far left that even states like Pennsylvania and Michigan,
But you know what's going to
and
happen
stuff like
is
that.
she's going to
They're
play
just-
that she's a moderate. She's going to
No,
probably pick a moderate VP, and they're going
That's
to
it.
try to.
And
say-
even that, I mean, they're like stuck right now. They don't know what to do because if they pick a guy like Shapiro, who's been like a solid guy out of Pennsylvania, they lose Michigan because Shapiro's open Jewish. He's
Yeah.
a Jewish man. He practiced Judaism. He's Jewish, so they're going to lose a ton of votes out of Michigan because of what's going on up there with the Muslim population. In Pennsylvania itself, she's 110% against fracking. That brought Pennsylvania out of the dark
Well,
ages
it did.
after the steel industry and all these other things collapsed. Pennsylvania and Texas are some of the two biggest states that bring oil and liquid propane and up from the ground through fracking anywhere else in the country.
Who
And-
vote for policy? Who's voting on that stuff? Most people voting for other reasons.
I think people are starting to feel it, man. They feel it in their pockets now.
I know,
You know?
that's how I was feeling. I was with that.
You got 200, 300, 400 people in your neighborhood, and I'm not talking the Pittsburghs, Allegheny County, and your Philadelphia County. Those two on the outskirts of
man.
Pennsylvania. I'm talking
They're going
the
blue.
middle, the north, the south, central parts of Pennsylvania. When you lose 200 jobs in a township, the men in that town, that's a big hit.
Yeah, that is.
That is a big hit because they're one industry towns. And when they take that away from that economy and they see the writing on the wall, I think that's why you're seeing there's people switching their parties in states like that. They're tired of like feeling dirty when they vote for a Republican behind the curtain, even though they're a registered Democrat.
Mm.
Now they're starting to say, you know what? I am a Republican. The Republicans is for the working man now.
It's crazy. how it's
Democrats are
changed
not
around.
anymore.
I know.
I'm up for the challenge, though. I know I got my work
So-
cut out, so
Let's go.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think, gentlemen, we should have you back on. I wish we had a little bit more time, but
We got more time, man.
We-
Make more time.
absolutely.
Make
Part
more
two.
time. I'm gonna jump in
Part
real quick.
two.
We just hit on something real quick. I'm appalled. I'm serious. I'm appalled at the anti-Semitism oozing, seething out of the Democratic Party. It's an embarrassment. I don't know how people that are my Jewish brothers and sisters that are still voting Democrat when that party has completely turned their back on them
It's
and they're promoting
astounding.
the pro-Hamas and all this stuff. What Netanyahu brought the house down when he said, these gays, these homosexuals, and God bless my homosexual friends out there, I love you. But when you're out there promoting gays for Gaza, he said that's just like being the chickens being out on the road supporting for KFC. It
Yeah.
don't make no sense,
Doesn't make
dude.
any sense.
But that shows you how powerful, like Larry just said, people are just doing crazy things. If you put green arrows down in Publix and you tell them to walk that way, a certain way, and they can protect themselves from the virus, dumbest thing in the history of the world, people will believe anything.
Right.
If they tell you wear a cloth mask, I can smell a fart through to protect you from this virus, and people do it and they believe it. It's the same kind of
Right.
mentality.
It's full circle, man.
It is.
It's coming around full circle, like we talked earlier on. We're like, they just listen to what's out there from the people that they think are smarter than them, and in reality, they know the right from wrong.
Yeah.
They just need to go with their heart, man.
Can I give a shout
right.
out to the staff here
You
real
give-
quick,
you
man?
give a shout-
239 Uncensored.
absolutely.
I want to thank Diana. I want to thank Helena. Of course, a quick shout out to Tim Jarrett, man. Again, everybody listening, please vote Tim Jarrett for Collier County Supervisors elections. We're going Tom Henning School Board. We're going Christina Hauser. We're going to go Pam Cunningham for school board, and we're going Jim Molnaire for appraiser. And last but not least,
Byron Donalds for governor.
or Speaker of the
Team
House.
Donalds.
Speaker of the House.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
don't
It's
see
already being
we got-
negotiated.
Larry
Already
Wilcox
being
do not
negotiated.
support that list.
Our website.
Who you support?
Our website.
Where-
Definitely not Molinar.
Who
Team-
you going
I
with?
would not support Molinar.
So who you going with?
All right.
Anybody else?
Well, we can all
Damn.
disagree, right?
Yeah,
That's what
Yeah,
we're about.
absolutely.
Hey, just just to shout it out, but it's collierfirst.com.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
simple. That's the
And
site
people
that
can go
takes
on there
you
and
to the pack.
donate.
Collier
Get on board.
First. So
Absolutely.
Larry Love,
Support
get
the
on board,
cause.
make a
Great
donation.
cause. Thank you to Jimmy P Burgers
P.
and
Jimmy
more
P, that
providing
Philly
that
cheese was
fire
good.
today.
I ain't getting on. Larry ate it
You
all,
get
man.
your
but I heard
logo
it's
right
good.
on here if you want. Just come with the bag. We got you.
Yeah, we
Looking
need
for
that
some
bag.
sponsors. Yeah, Wilcox and Consulting ain't cheap, so come with the right numbers.
Wow.
But we want to thank 239 Uncensored for having us. We'll definitely do this again, gentlemen. Really, really appreciate you guys
Patrick.
coming
Thanks,
on.
Larry.
Love you guys.
It's a great
You guys are
podcast, man. I
great.
love it.
Yeah,
We
it's good
appreciate you guys. Have definitely helped us, and we'll do it again.
Appreciate y'all. God bless.
how'd you get my glamour shot, man?
But GQ looking for that.
You're a good-looking gentleman.
Hey, for real though.
Evidently,
Hey,
Fox News thinks that they put
Hey,
me on TV.
all joking aside, we gotta thin that up though, man. We got to
I know we
Photoshop
got to get
that.
an updated
Yeah, we
picture.
Larry Love, we got to Photoshop that.
Don't got to Photoshop. It can stay that way.
You can have that steak now.
That was good, man. That was good. That was good.
Oh, I'll take it home.